Well, tonight we return once again to the book of Zephaniah, that little book, prophetic book in the closing pages of the Old Testament. And as we turn to Zephaniah, I want to remind you once again of the context of Zephaniah's preaching. Zephaniah preached in the days of good King Josiah, one of the last kings of the nation of Judah. Josiah reigned for 31 years, and after he reigned, he had 4 descendants that reigned after him for a shorter time period than his reign was. For just 22 and a half years, he had 3 sons and 1 grandson who were put on the throne, often put on by their enemy, the Babylonians or the Egyptians. These 22 and a half years before the day of the fall of Judah and Jerusalem took place in the years leading up to 586 BC. The immediate fulfillment of that day that Zephaniah describes, beginning in verse 9, he says, "On that day I will punish everyone who leaps over the threshold and those who fill their master's house with violence and fraud." Just a couple of decades later, that day would come partially to fulfill these words. The day was near for the people of Judah and Jerusalem. Hear how these words are describing not only that day, but the final day of judgment to come by Zephaniah in verses 14 through 18 of chapter 1. Follow along as I read, if you would. Zephaniah writes, "The great day of the Lord is near, near and hastening fast. The sound of the day of the Lord is bitter. The mighty man cries aloud there. A day of wrath is that day, a day of distress and anguish, a day of ruin and devastation.